We've seen in Triangle Lake and other rural communities that industrial forestry herbicides are poisoning our neighbors, our wildlife, our water, and our community health. How can we foster an economy that values the sustainability of our resources and culture?
We need to band together across the whole political spectrum to help our timber industry move from a quantity, volume, quick and dirty, cheap, cut down the trees, sell them overseas, hit the land with herbicides, get the board feed no matter what, get the money to corporate headquarters like Weyerhaeuser in Tacoma. We need to help our timber industry move into the 21st century. There's a whole list of ways, specific ways that we can reform the Beyond Timber Sale program. We should slow down the pace of harvest on private timberland. It's going to slow down pretty soon because those lands are being cut at such a rate that they're going to be exhausted. If we want to protect the timber industry for future generations in this county, we need to let things grow back longer, more slowly, in a more healthy way, so herbiciding can go. Thank you.
Faye.
Thank you. One of the ways that you can convince people that how to do things different is by leading by example. And Lake County has done that. We quit using herbicides for managing on roadside vegetation. And so by doing that, we are leading the way. Unfortunately, this practice is governed by the federal government, and we can use our voice to say, bring the concerns. We've had some folks out in the Deadwood area that have had some serious ramifications or concerns about the practices. We've supported a full-blown study with the governor wanted to do. Unfortunately, there was this last year when it was set up to go, the timber industry decided not to do any spraying. It's very difficult, but I believe by leading by example and showing that we can manage and do things different ways is one example of how to promote different practices to take place.
Joanne.
I think it's atrocious that private timber companies are allowed to spray herbicides and infringe upon close people when they live close to where the clear cuts are. I work with the Beyond Toxics Alliance and the great work that they do to try to give people rights and empower them to fight against the herbicides being sprayed that drift onto them. One of the reasons that the county no longer sprays herbicides on its roads is Beyond Toxics had a big campaign to stop that. I believe that we do need to have a healthy timber industry that can eventually stop using herbicides and keep people healthy.
Jose.
Thank you for the question. I spent a fair amount of time this past week speaking with a forester about this very topic. We talked about what are the invasives, and those invasives are, in no particular order, ivy, non-native blackberries, as well as other. And so what you do is you establish a process, perhaps in partnership with the McKinsey Watershed Council, among others. You go up and down the valleys, you take out all the invasives. What that does, it in part opens up the understory for growth to occur. You then go about thinning, not clear cutting, thinning, and then you're opening up the canopy. So the short answer is no toxics. Stewardship logging, yes. Eliminating the invasives, yes. Opening up the canopy, yes. Harvesting wood, yes. But harvesting it so that it's kept locally, and indeed so that it's given to our value-added enterprises so that we no longer bleed jobs out of Lake County. Thank you.
And Jen.
Pesticides suck. I think that if you're poisoning people, like around the Triangle Lake District, that the administrators or managers responsible should be held criminally accountable. I would rather see civilian work crews going up into our wild mecca of foods that we have here and defoliating if we have to, but also utilizing what we have, ferns, truffles, mushrooms, moss, rocks, things like this, and bring them down and create festivals around them where we can draw people to our communities for a jam festival or a mushroom festival with music. I think this is how we can approach getting rid of the weeds in our trees.
Can we move on to question 5? It's on the long side, you guys, and sort of multi-part. So